I'm not a strategy guy. I don't spell well. I don't know how to add right. My math sucks. I slow over my words sometimes, even as we're talking. I talk too fast. I have a lot of problems, Adam. And I guess I know these deficiencies. So my team, they have to be better than me, able to understand what I'm trying to get to, be able to push back and help me.
This is Dream Chasers, episode 57, with Ramon Ray. Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Adam Carswell, and welcome to Dream Chasers, Interviews with the Future. On Dream Chasers, we interview individuals with supernatural amounts of potential based on early success in their careers. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's get straight to the interview. Hey guys, this is Adam Carswell, and today I'm joined by Ramon Ray. Ramon is the editor and founder of Smart Hustle magazine. He's originally from Ohio, but grew up in Brooklyn, New York. We can maybe talk about that in a little bit because I'm also from Ohio.
Nice.
He went to the New York Institute of Technology. And Ramon, you know what, Ramon? I didn't ask you this. Do you still live in Brooklyn now?
I do not. I live in the wonderful vacation capital of the world, New Jersey.
That's right. That's right. So he's coming to us from New Jersey today. Ramon, thanks for being on the show. Do you have any opening remarks for my listeners?
You're welcome, and it's an honor to be here with you, knowing your resume and creds. It's an honor to be here, talk to a fellow entrepreneur. So really just telling everybody, sit back, relax, have fun. As far as business, man, just go out and do it. You will screw up and make mistakes, but I'm excited to learn from you, Adam, in the next few minutes that we have and share what I can with your community. So thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. One thing that I can already hear it in your voice, Ramon, I talked about it when I had Lou Diamond on the show. I was on his show as well, Thrive Loud. I can't say that Joe Applebaum, we talked about it, but he's also a very dynamic person and really how we ended up connecting.
Indeed.
But Lou was like, you'll see when you talk to Ramon, he's all about that sizzle, that pop. I guess that is that one of your trademarks or something like that?
I think so. Other people say that about me and I'm happy. And I guess I do say it, but I don't say it about myself. But yeah, that's my style. We're all different, right? I mean, everybody can be smart. Some people are loud and gregarious, I think is the English word. Others of us are just loud and making noise when we come in the room. But that's more me. I'm kind of on the Joe side of the room. Joe talks fast, furious, and crazy. So I kind of lend to that side of the world. But I still love people, and I hope to think I'm a nice guy.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Go ahead and check out those episodes. I wish I knew the numbers off the top of my head, but I think Joe was actually episode 50 and Lou Diamond was episode 52. It's interesting to me now that I have you here on the line, Ramon, how similar, I'm sure all three of your, I know all three of your focuses in regards to your business are different, but as speakers, you guys all really remind me of each other. So I don't know what's in the water down there, but yeah.
And I guess also, I think, Adam, is that birds of the feather and indeed flock together. Meaning, does that mean I don't have friends that are shy, introverts, and quieter? Of course I have friends like that. But for some reason, I guess people who like each other and hang out, not in a bad way, the quieter people in school, they hang out and read books together. Those of us that were loud, we hang out and do what? Volleyball, which is a silly example, but you kind of know what I mean? So I guess me, Joe, and Lou and others, we kind of just... you appreciate that. You hug each other. Hey, Joe, good morning. Others who are quieter, they don't like that approach. And that's cool.
Yeah. You got to have both ends of the spectrum for life to be what it is. Let's focus now on Smart Hustle, your company. Let's talk about the inception of it and how long have you been operating Smart Hustle? Tell us a little bit about what it is.
Absolutely. So my pedigree, I've been in business for, over 20 years as a speaker, writer, author, event producer, and doing a number of fun, cool things. One of my companies is smallbiztechnology.com, which I sold, in fact, a few weeks ago. So I no longer own that blog, website, domain name, and et cetera, and events we did. So my focus today, only focus, besides the 500 other ideas I have, is Smart Hustle Media. And my vision for that, Adam, really was I was tired of just being the tech guy, tired of just covering tech, new printer, a new Bluetooth pen. And I still like tech, it's important. But I realized as I guess maybe matured, got a little older, done a few other things, business is what really interests me, and especially smaller businesses. So not even just entrepreneurs who are VC funded, trying to be the next Facebook and building a lot of wealth, as it were, but I want to work with smaller businesses who want to have profitable businesses and provide for their families a way of life and give back to the community. So having said that, That launched Smart Hustle Media. I bought the domain. In fact, I paid somebody several $1,000s for that domain,
All
smarthustle.com.
right.
And my vision was and is really to chronicle the journey of entrepreneurship. So in Smart Hustle Media, we have our event side, we have our online content side. We work with large brands and help amplify their content. My vision initially was to have a print magazine. We have published some issues, but I'll tell you, Adam, with no shame, it's a little bit of a struggle and a pain. So we're still figuring out that model of print. But right now, the other parts of our business are rocking and going very well.
Perfect. Well, Ramon, we are going to step into the next level chamber now.
There we go.
Yeah. When did you realize this was something you wanted to take to the next level?
That's a great question, man. I think that I would tell you yesterday, I thought of that, but that's not quite true. But I think so. To explain about myself a bit more, and maybe you can help unpack this for me, Adam. We all have different gifts of how we explain things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a do first, think second person. So I can't say when I first did Smart Hustle, I had a grand plan. I knew I wanted to get into something else, and it wasn't going to be baking. It wasn't going to be fishing. I'm a content guy. You're in real estate and other things you do, right? That's just not me. I'm a content person. So I'm like, what's the domain name? And I'm a firm believer in domain names. What's the domain name I can do to latch onto that? And so I think as I started doing it, I think, Adam, I could say over the last 6 months to a year, 2 years, for Smart Hustle in particular, I'm like, you know what? This can grow into Smart Hustle Media, Smart Hustle Tech, Smart Hustle Marketing. And that's where we're going. And to be clear, I've been in business for over 20 years, so I'm not like a spring chicken. But for this particular company, this new project, as Seth Godin is known to say, only recently have I seen, you know what, this has legs that can scale, if that makes sense what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point that you make there. I've seen similar things happen in my life with, for example, I have a logo that I really stick to for everything that I put my stamp on. And I can tell you, like, for example, 4 years ago, maybe 5 tops, when I first came up with the idea of the logo, I had no idea what I was doing with it. I just knew it was like, okay, I think a mentor at the time advised me, hey, you should create your own logo. And from there,
Right.
just blindly kind of moved forward with it. But now it's become something where I'm here living in St. John's. I've got branded gear now with my logo on it and the different things that I'm doing. I had someone come up to me, is like, hey, I like your shirt. I'm like, well, here, like, if you go on this website here, like, click this, you can buy it. So I've got someone
Nice.
buying I had no idea, one day that things like that were going to happen. So I think I'm with you on the do first, think second, and the sky is really the limit when you use that approach.
And my hat is off, Adam, to those who are, I wouldn't say more strategic than us, but I'll say think differently. My hat's off to those people. But again, as we know, you and I are mature business owners. There's those of us who do first, and we may make a few more mistakes. There's those who think longer. Maybe they make less mistakes, but they've done less. So that's in a very high-end, hyperbolic example. But that's kind of how I see it. There's those of us who just do. Yeah, we skin our knees a bit more, but we're the guys who have 20 projects. But then there's those who do less, and they're doing 2 things very well, but all they've done are 2 things.
Right.
So that's just how my brain works. I like to do a lot of things. My brain moves fast.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic for sure. And I think it's helpful. I know it's encouraging and helpful for me to even hear your story, because I do get caught up sometimes, or maybe a little bit insecure as an entrepreneur. You see, a common trend where, find your niche and get rich, focus on that one thing, or refine it down to one thing. And for me, I've always found it so much more rewarding to be good or doing more than one thing at a time, as hard as it is to go against that common perception.
Exactly. You're so true. And I guess what I try to do is be disciplined in that, I must say. I try to say, Ramon, okay, why don't you think more, focus more? But I'm comfortable. I am who I am, man. That's just how it is.
Perfect. Well, I got to know, based on Smart Hustle and everything that you have explained to us so far about the firm, what have been some of the downsides, maybe the struggles in running the company, and then what are some of the positives that you've experienced?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the downside, and I'm still going through this, Adam, I probably listen to your podcast more and get some advice, is growth. Meaning I really want to be a small business. I want to work from a home office. I want to have a small team. I have a team of about 3 to 5, depends on what we're doing. And I work with some amazing companies, Dell and Microsoft and AT&T and so many big, amazing brands, Salesforce and others. And I like that life. I like to be able to wash my car at 11 a.m., have lunch with my wife at 3, go on a 3-day trip somewhere
Right.
and live a nice life, not wealthy. I'm not yet today, but I'm blessed. So my point is though, but how to grow. I would love to do a Smart Hustle marketing conference. How do I do that, but still be the size I am? And what I'm learning is that's through partnership in one way or another, however you want to describe that word, but in working with others. So that's the thing I'm struggling with is just how to scale, but not have a building in Midtown Manhattan and 50 staff,
Right.
And I think the thing that's going right is that, listen, revenue is coming in. Is that I'm seeing for me, this is what I do. What I sell is content. What I sell is eyeballs. I sell myself. That part, Adam, is going well. The more content I produce in a smart way, educate my audience, the more people see it and engage me and say, Ramon, hey, listen, I've followed you for the last 3 months or 30 years. Well, not 30 years, but 3 years or so. I'd like to hire you to do this. Can you fly here and do this? I would just invite you to go to Singapore with a big brand, which I'll announce later on. But the point is, those kind of deals come my way all the time, and I'm still a very small business owner.
Yeah. So I'm really interested now because I'm sure you've been through some experiences in regards to business, being an entrepreneur that have encouraged you to want to stay small. I think some people go into it like, I want to have a company one day where I'm employing 50,000 man, 50,000 people. Why is it for you that you want to stay small? And what is your ideal staff? Is it just you, or is it 10? What's that
Sure.
thought process?
Yeah, I think the reason why is because I do like my freedom. What I enjoy most is getting on stage and speaking. And now to do that, you can live a great business. I'm a member of the National Speakers Association, which our mutual friends are part of. And you can make some good money doing that. But as you and I talked about, Adam, what the problem we have or the challenge we have? I like to do a lot of different things. So meaning, what's got me into it? I know that as some of my peers have, they have a building, they have a 20-person office. You got to get on the train every day. You got to go to work. Yeah, you can pretend you're working from home, but that's sometimes. Adam, I like working from home all the time.
Yep.
I like just being my own person. When you have a staff, meaning employees, somebody has to run the ship. And until you reach a certain level, you can't just outsource that. So that's that's what I see, and that's what I like about it. The ideal staff for me, it'll probably stay at 5, give or take. And the rest we can, hire out as we need. But I think for me, just to share, if it helps your community, I have an executive assistant who also serves as a project manager. I have an editorial person. They then have staff who work under them to do other projects we may need. I have a great designer. I have someone who handles my events, and I have a video person. So those are kind of my 5 core team, and it fits what I do, as you can kind of hear that video, editorial, design. That's kind of on the bucket of content, which is a bulk of our business. And then I have an executive assistant and project manager, which helps Ramon execute. And the rest we can hire as we need it. And I think in the 2019, with all the tools that we have out there, Lead Pages and Zapier and Infusionsoft and all these tools and, Zencastr and et cetera, you can do a lot with a little.
How much of an impact has your executive assistant made on you, as you mentioned, being able to remain disciplined as an entrepreneur? And, how did you find this individual? What does their workflow look like? I'm sure the reason I'm asking is because I'm sure that they make a pretty significant difference in your daily life. So I guess just tell us about that relationship there.
Oh, yeah, Jamie's changed my life. So listen, so here's how I think of it is. When we're talking about the world of very small businesses, not even 20, 50-person companies, let's just talk about small businesses. Many of the coaches, consultants, and solo practitioners who trade time for dollars, they're doing it all themselves. This is my world. These are my fan base of Smart Hustle. But when you get that one extra hire who's your executive assistant, she or he, you can throw in a good way, throw everything onto them that you don't want to do or don't do well. And either A, your executive assistant and project manager can do it, or even better, Adam, they can manage the small team you put together. So Ramon and Adam and our families or whatever, let's say, we can go to China on a 2-week trip because our executive assistants, they're managing the team and they're keeping the ship running. And I must say conversely, we have to take care of our executive assistants too. Make sure they're doing well, make sure they're well paid, make sure they get bonuses. So does that help answer the question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
I'm assuming that your executive assistant works remotely as well. So how did you source Jamie? Where did she come from?
Absolutely. I think she dropped all out of the sky, but sometimes I think, no, I found her on Upwork. So here's my process. Upwork, for most who know, is a place to find contractors. And so I found her on Upwork. And the key is I put a great subject line and very clear on what I needed. And the ninjas that I call them, people who get Ramon and get what I do, they are going to be attracted to it. So I didn't just say, I want a secretary. I want an admin person. I want someone to do Excel spreadsheets. Adam, that's dime a dozen. Anybody can do that. And not in a bad way. That's great. But I said, I want a technology ninja who eats Eventbrite, and I think I put like Zapier for lunch. Something like that I put, kind of cool. There's only a few people, but meaning all the people that just copy and paste business cards, all the people that just type in Excel, they're not going to apply because they just want, that certain level of work. But the ninjas, the people who are process focused, they get that kind of headline. They exactly get it. And that's where I found Jamie.
Wow. That's a really interesting approach, because I'm sure not just using an approach like that on Upwork can give you positive results for your business, but I just feel like if you approach other aspects of the business in the same way, you're going to get the same thing. So do you have any examples of another time where you, I guess, did something that was clearly, out of the box in regards to normal, and then you got the results you were looking for?
Oh, absolutely. And this flows now, happens to flow, pardon me, with the same one of my designers. So it's kind of a similar example, but in the same way for the designer I have. Her name is Pam. For me, she's one of the best designers in the world. And actually, I got the advice, not for her, but to work on design from Seth Godin. When I was first launching Smart Hustle, Seth Godin said, Ramon, think of Fast Company magazine. They put a lot of effort into great design. So when I went on Upwork, I wanted Upwork again, and I put a similar headline. I'm looking for a designer that creates delicious visuals and works independently. Something like that I put right in the headline. The Pams of the world knew what I want. If you just did any kind of business card, a little logo, put it up there, I'm not for you because I'm not detailed. I don't know what I want, and I give very minimal instruction. So you have to be a special person to work with Ramon, not because I'm anything.
Right.
But if you follow what I mean, Adam, I think you understand what I'm saying. So that kind of headline, that filters out all the lower level people. Only the Pams of the world and Jamies will rise to the top.
And I think the power in that on your behalf is really knowing yourself, knowing what you're good at, what you're not good at. For example, You said you need someone who's going to color inside the lines for you. Did you take any tests or have any moments throughout your career where you were like, wow, who I am now is, this is it. I know my strengths. I know my weaknesses now, because you don't always know them, I think, until you get to a certain point in your career of focus.
Yeah, you're right, Adam. And I think as you say that, for some reason, man, I don't know why, but I'm tearing up. I'm not crying literally, but I'm tearing up. I can feel getting emotional. I don't know why. I remember I used to work at Infusionsoft, CRM marketing automation company, and they had us take Strengths Finders, the famous book, which most of your audience will know. Those of you who don't, Strengths Finders, good book. Mm-hmm. And everybody else in the room had all these cool, what I thought were cool, strengths and all kind of things. They were, listing whatever it was. And I had some good ones too, but it's just, I had the power of woo. And only 2 of us out of 30 people in the room had the power of woo. So the point I'm getting at woo, by the way, is you connect with people. My long answer to your question, Adam, what I'm trying to say is that I'm not a strategy guy. I don't spell well. I don't know how to add right. My math sucks. I slow over my words sometimes, even as we're talking. I talk too fast. I have a lot of problems, Adam. And I guess I know these deficiencies. So my team, they have to be better than me, able to understand what I'm trying to get to, be able to push back and help me. I'm not saying I'm an idiot. I know I'm not an idiot. But if you understand what I mean, right. So that's kind of Strength Finders help me see, Ramon, you're not Mr. Strategist. Ramon, maybe Adam's good in real estate. He can be good in math and, valuations. I'm making it up, Adam. But you know what I mean? Everybody has a strength. That's not me, man. That's not me. So when I hire, if I'm looking for designer, if you have to ask him what shade of blue do I want, we can't work together because I won't know what shade of blue I want. I will not be able to tell you. That's your problem, not mine.
Yeah, that's there was a famous story. I can't remember what book it was from, but it referenced Henry Ford. Someone asked him a question one time, basically attempting to stump him because he was the great Henry Ford, and he very politely responded, I don't know the answer to your question, but I can press a button and have an answer for you within 5 minutes or something like that.
Wow.
Just showing, managing those strengths and weaknesses right there. But Ramon, we are closing in here on the end of the interview. I've been having a great time, and I always say this. I wish that sometimes I had developed a Joe Rogan format to my show where I could just sit down and talk to you for 3 hours. Maybe one day Dream Chasers will do that.
One day.
Anyways, I've got 3 fun questions here kind of give my listeners a chance to get to know you a little bit more. And I'm actually really excited to ask you this first one because I do a lot of travel myself, and I'm sure you do, sounds like. So the first question is, what is your favorite airline to travel with? Second one is going to be, what is your favorite movie? And then the third one, this is like normally the hardest one. Who is your favorite client that you have worked with at Smart Hustle?
Interesting. Okay, so favorite airline, interesting question, is United. I love United. I think they do excellent service. One day I gave up my seat to somebody. I didn't even ask them for it. And like they showered me with so much love. So United Airlines, favorite airline for sure. Favorite movie, two movies I like. In fact, I think it's called U-17 or U-77. It's a movie about a submarine, U.S. submarines who had to steal the Enigma, the German coding machine, from another submarine. Amazing movie about leadership. And the second one I like is Men of Honor with Robert De Niro and Cuba Gooding Jr. Back in the days of intense segregation, it was amazing how Cuba Gooding stood tall with all the crap he had to go through. And Robert De Niro eventually became and defended him and loved him, even though he was a terrible, nasty guy at first. Favorite client. You know what? If I say that, man, I'll be in trouble. But I can tell you some clients.
You can like, without being specific, you can describe them.
Yeah, I'll just tell you. I mean, listen, I like clients. I work with a software company, man. I've gotten socks and stickers and goodie from them. Their social team is off the chain amazing. I work with another hardware vendor. I like have all their hardware products. They're just cool to work with. So I have a favorite hardware vendor, software vendor, and I think I like companies that like to have fun. And so those are some of my favorite clients.
Companies that like to keep it delicious and be ninjas.
Absolutely.
Ramon, what's the best way for listeners to follow up with you and maybe get in touch if they have any questions?
Absolutely. And Adam, thank you for your time. If I can help any of you, our main site is smarthustle.com. And if anybody wants to check out and see what I do, invite me to speak or hang with Adam somewhere, ramonray.com.
Perfect. Ramon, once again, thank you 1,000 times for coming on Dream Chasers. It's been a lot of fun getting to know you.
Adam, I really appreciate being here, man. Thank you for all you do for your community. Thank you.
Guys, thank you for tuning into Dream Chasers, Interviews with the Future. We will catch you in the next episode. Remember, in all you think, say, and do, take it to the next level.